how is? How are you? Come on in. You find me in my scribing room this week because I've started scribing a new book. But first of all, I must comment on the weather. It is like Saudi Arabia out there. It is unbearable. It is so glary bright and roasting and desperate. But sure, look it, what can we do? And I was in town this morning. It's Sunday where I am, and I for complicated reasons wasn't driving, and I got a taxi home, and I got in the taxi and I says to the man, Dunleary, and he goes, going out to sun yourself, are you? And I said, no, I live in Dunleary. He goes, oh, it's very busy in Dunleary when the sun is out. And I'm like, feckin' tell me about it, sir. But then I didn't engage in further chat because I like to be left to my own thoughts in the taxi. There's nothing worse than a chatty taxi driver. Anyway, so yes, I have started a new book, and I'm at that stage that I was at in, I think it might have been my first vlog that I did back in October 2015, where I was trying to think of names, and it's just very difficult to get the right name, because like I said, you know, especially for the men's, you know, you want to have a nice name for your men's. Like, you don't want them to have funny names like, as I said the last time, Herbert. And I am sorry to any Herberts out there. And you might be a complete ride, and it is just very unfortunate. But anyway, so I will not be putting a Herbert in as my ridey man. In fact, I have 3 men's on the go in this book. And now the thing is, the name Emmett is a lovely name in my opinion. However, in another one of my books, and it might have been the other side of the story, in which somebody is scribing a book, she kind of acknowledges that Emmett is a sort of a, you know, a stereotypical hunky, ridey man name. So I can't use that now because I've already mocked myself in advance. Also, I know an Emmett. I have a lovely friend called Emmett, and I couldn't do that because then it would be weird, wouldn't it? Because the next time I met him, it'd be a bit, or after the book came out, it'd be a bit kind of, how are you? Yeah, anyway, look at, you know. So I'm very excited. I am very excited because this doesn't normally happen. Normally there's a sort of a grieving period and a period of nothingness, you know, of kind of woo, winds blowing across frozen ground and that sort of thing. And that hasn't happened this time. Who knows? It might run out of steam. Sudden wild enthusiasms. Speaking of which, lattes. Do you drink lattes? I'm sure you do. Everybody does, apart from me. You see, I have a funny relationship with coffee because when I was mad in the head, I couldn't drink coffee at all because it used to make me even more afraid and more anxious. And now that I feel so well, and thank God and all of them sort of things, I am drinking coffee again. And we have a machine. You might know about it. I have feckin' tweeted about the fecker. It's himself. Oh yeah, I have told you about this, where it makes noises like, you know, you're there in their living room and suddenly the coffee machine will let out this howl of existential agony, like of loneliness and despair. And I'm blaming him because he used to drink an awful lot of coffee. He says he doesn't anymore. And I think I might have taken up the baton because about, must have been a week ago, I had a latte. I don't know why or what happened. I thought, this is bloody lovely. And so then I was somewhere else, and then I had a decaffeinated latte because it was the evening, because I still worry about my sleep and everything. Now I am borderline obsessed with lattes. And as I say, I was in town this morning and I had a meeting, and through the meeting I was thinking, when this finishes, I'm going to find a place that will sell me a latte. Because you see, I'm out here in the suburbs and I don't leave the house much during the day when I'm scribing, so I don't encounter these latte emporiums. So I went and I got a latte, and I came home and I showed the carton to himself, and I said, I think I have a sudden wild enthusiasm for lattes. Find me a machine that does frizzy milk. Now I know it's not frizzy milk and I know it's not frilly milk, but it's a word like that begins with F and there's Y's and R's and things in it. So I want a coffee where you can get frizzy or frilly milk, but his machine doesn't do any sort of milk. So so he is looking up frizzy milk coffee machines. Sudden wild enthusiasms. I told him not to buy anything yet. I said, we'll give it 4 more days and I might have run my course. Now, I want to show you a book. It is called The Ice. It is by Laline Paul, who wrote The Bees. You remember The Bees? The Bees was fabulous, and it was shortlisted for the Bailey's Prize. I think it might have been 2 years ago, and this is just so great. You see, I mean, if you've read The Bees, you know how strange and beautiful it was, and also that it's, you see, she is concerned with ecological matters, which is great. And so this is the book is set the day after tomorrow, she calls it, and the Arctic ice has melted, and the book is set in Svalbard, which I would love to go to, and it's just really gripping, and about ice and polar bears and Svalbard, which in the book isn't as cold as it is now, because it's in the future and we've had the global warming and all. Anyway, it's great, and the cover is beautiful, the inside is beautiful, and I think the author might be beautiful too, because I tweeted a congratulations to her. Oh, yeah, you see, when I heard this was coming, I ordered it off of my local bookshop, and then I was excited. I only got it yesterday, and I let her know that I had got it, and then she tweeted back that she had heard me on the Desert Island Discs, and she was really nice. So now I feel like I love her even more. Do you know, that sort of way? So anyway, it's beautiful, and it's beautiful. Beautiful on the outside, beautiful on the inside. Beautiful on the outside, beautiful on the inside, beautiful on the outside. No, I'll stop now. Right now, I have a very busy week. I have a week of medical appointments coming up. I have my up the frock procedure tomorrow, which I have gone into total denial about. I have no idea what I have to bring in, when I'm to stop eating, all of that sort of thing. And then, so I'll be out, you know, soon. And then the following day, I have to go up to the nut house to get my brain weighed. You know, I have to go every 3 months. And so they come in and they put my head in a vice, in a clamp like this, and then they saw off the top, and then they lift out the brain and they put it on the scales, and then they go, ooh, bit better than it was last month. And then they lift it up and they put it back in again, and then they sew me up. Something like that, anyway. That's what goes on in psychiatric hospitals. And then later in the week, Louise O'Neill is coming to stay. And I love Louise O'Neill, and I am in huge, I love her, and I'm in awe of her. And because she's coming to stay, I feel like my house is a kip, and it is not worthy to house her. So I've been looking at wallpaper online and just wondering, would there be time to get the entire house redecorated by Thursday? There could be. Where there's a will, there's a way, am I right? And she's coming up because we are going to see Tara Flynn's play in the Paycock Theatre. And there's loads of us going. At least 10 of us. It could be more. So that's very, very nice. And then on Saturday, Katrina's coming home from New York. Hooray! And Susanna's coming home from England. Hooray! And we're going to Louise Carlin's birthday party on Saturday night. Hooray! So that's all lovely. But in the meantime, I will be scribing diligently, although I suppose I won't be when I'm recovering from my up the frockness. The owl general anaesthetic, Christ alone knows, I mean, I'm bad enough, do you know, without that into the mix. I hope I don't go too mental, but sure, look at what can we do? It's got to be done. Enjoy the Jeddah-like conditions out there. Where else is in Saudi Arabia? Riyadh. Yeah. I was going to say something really terrible, but I won't. I was going to say something like we could do a... No, it's awful, sorry. I was going to say we could do a public beheading on Dunleary Pier. No, I shouldn't have said that. No, I didn't say that. I was just thinking, what do I think of when I think of Saudi Arabia? We could do camels up and down Dunleary Pier and wear the things. We could just go home and not be able to drive or anything. Or anything. Yes. Can't leave the house without permission. You have to go and find, I've no cousins, male cousins living in Dublin. How else am I going to drive my car if I don't have a male cousin beside me? Or husband, of course. But the husband would be too busy with his camels or other things. Anyway, oh yeah, people said you didn't mind the hugs and kisses. Kisses anyway.